Hello everyone, welcome to my JBL Flip series. This is one of the original ones. This is a Flip 2. As you can see, I have it dismantled. So don't be distraught. The Flip series, the JBL speakers, they're good little speakers actually. They sound really good. They're easy to pair up. They're Bluetooth. Most of them have also a jack on them, so you can do an input, say from your PC to it if it doesn't have Bluetooth. The reason I have it apart, now this one I've had for a couple years and it's done really well. I use it almost every day. But recently I've had an issue with it charging, and so I proceeded to look on the internet to see if I should just buy a new one, and then I saw the prices. They're kind of expensive, especially the very latest one, their big version, I think the Flip 4. It's very expensive, but the newest one doesn't have this type of a plug for charging, which turns out to be probably the biggest downfall of this speaker. It uses one of these ends. I don't know the proper name for it, but if you're not very careful in your day-to-day use, if you're plugging it in to charge, eventually it damages the connector in here. And so what I did, I took it apart, and so I could get a better view, and I straightened it all out. It was all bent and stuff. I just used a small screwdriver, straightened it out, and it seems to charge now. I'm gonna put this thing back together, which you'll be able to figure out how to take it apart if you're having the same kind of an issue. So let's go ahead, get started here. Okay, one thing I wanted to point out, I didn't go all the way taking this, dismantling it. I thought I was gonna have to take the batteries out and maybe replace them or check to see if there was a bad cell in there. Maybe that's why it wasn't charging. But I fixed that plug, like I said, and it worked fine, so I stopped the dismantling process. But if you did have to get into the battery, you have to remove the metal screening on here. And there's just a screw that holds this in. I'll put that back together in a second, and then there's a screw here and a screw here. Now, I didn't take it apart because I'm not going to do any more than I have to, because your failure rate starts going up the more you take things apart. So, but anyways, if you had to, that's how you do it. So let's start putting this back together. Just bring the mesh up, and it should snap in there. And we're gonna have to put the little screw back in. That. You'll need some little screwdrivers. I was going to take it right apart, but it doesn't look like I have to, so I'll just put these back in. I don't think I even took the other one out. I'll check. I just have to do it up. So the tricky part was trying to figure out, well, how on earth was this thing put together? So I mean, if it was put together, it could be taken apart. Sometimes it just takes a while to figure out how they did it. So this just snaps together like that. Bring this one up. Go. Okay, let's start with this end. This is the bottom. And you have to be careful when you take it apart. There's a wire attaching could be the antenna under there, I'm not sure. But there's something attached, so when you're pulling it apart, be careful. Like I said, be careful, and I just I'm gonna have to solder that on now. Yeah. Alright. Gonna sign out for a bit. Okay, I'm back. I decided not to fix those two little wires that I pulled off because I wasn't careful. As I was telling everyone else to be careful, I wasn't careful. However, the Bluetooth still works, so I don't believe that's what it's for. That could be for the... Maybe it's for the Wi-Fi or something. Maybe this is a little antenna. I don't know. We'll find out when I get it back together and running. So let's go ahead and get the base put on here. So this guy just sits down in here. Get it lined up. Put this plate on here. There's a little notch here. I believe that's going to get things lined up for me. Yep. Alright, let's get the little teeny weeny screws in here. Now, of course, if you're taking it apart, this is the first step. You have to take the blue piece. They're kind of like they're glued on with a sticky material, so it should sit back down into place and stay on there. That's my hope, because it is sticky. Try not to touch it with your fingers too much. There's a little notch here. Line that up down there, and just push that in. There we go. So far, this looks as good as new almost. Let's turn it over here. And this is like the main control panel here. There's little notches on here. Yeah, it's good. Shouldn't be any trouble. Okay, and that feels like it's sitting down well. And again, 4 tiny little screws. Again, this is the top piece. It has a little notch, so as long as I put this on correctly, which it is, I believe. This again, it has a sticky material on there, so try not to touch it or anything. And get the little notch lined up. There we go. Push this back into place. Voila, and get it all pressed together. I don't have any parts left, so that's a good sign. So let me get set up here. I'll get my my iPad out, and we'll turn this on and see if it still works. Okay, I'm back. Did all the testing here. I thought those wires might have been something associated with the speakerphone, but not. It's all good. The Bluetooth works fine. I'll just show you how easy it is to get it going, but I did test it and it works like from 50 feet away, so no big concerns. On your iPhone or iPad, I don't know how it is on Androids, but basically make sure your Bluetooth is on, and then go ahead and turn on your JBL, and it fires up. The nice thing is it always resets the volume very low, so if you had the volume on max on your iPhone or iPad or something, you're not going to get a big blast of sound. And
elements that purify water by removing chlorine,
there you go.
Bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable
working fine,
and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light System today.
Let's pause that. So there you have it. I hope this was helpful. I mean, yeah, it's working again, and I didn't have to go and buy a new one, so I saved a lot of money. Hopefully it's going to last a lot longer. It is charging again now, so and again, what the issue was, It was just the plug-in here. It's like a USB cable that plugs into the adapter. And anyways, this gets messed up in here if you're not careful. So be kind to it. Be careful when you insert the plug and remove it straight in, straight out. This is the adapter I said. You can hook that up to a PC if it doesn't have Bluetooth or whatever. So you can directly hook up to any device that has an output for sound and run it through your speaker. Anyways, like I said, I've used this for several years now. Very durable. I have dropped this thing so many times, and I'm saying, you know, from 4 or 5 feet, it has hit the floor on many occasions. Still working, so kudos. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, come back for more.